Hi Spartan Race volunteers, thank you so much for joining our team. I'm here today to answer some of your questions on this brief information session. So the first thing, when you arrive on a race morning, we will ask you to show your parking pass. So we'll send that in an email and you just have to print it and keep it in your car. So then we'll direct you to the volunteer parking area designated for you specifically. So make sure to have your pass. Number two, you will be told to go to the volunteer area. It will be clearly indicated. Just follow the volunteer signs and your volunteer coordinator will be there to greet you. On that day, you will be given additional information about your roles, what you're going to be doing, and everyone will be receiving a volunteer t-shirt. So you're the first ones to see it. It's fresh out of the press. So this is going to be the front and the back. So you're going to wear these with pride. And the bonus, you get to keep these. Amazing. So you get to keep your shirt. You also have a free lunch. So you'll have the option of a meat or vegetarian option and a drink. So make sure to tell your volunteer coordinator ahead of time what choice you prefer. So next on the list, dress code. So we will send you in a pre-race email everything you need to bring, including a water bottle and dress, especially for wet or warm weather. You just never know what Mother Nature will throw our way. So come prepared. Rain or shine, the race is definitely on. We like the mud. Additionally, so the different roles, we're going to have people at parking. So those of you who pick the parking section, you'll be working with our parking supervisor. Things you'll be doing is handing out information cards, handing other items. So you'll be with her, she'll tell you exactly what to do. The registration team, this is going to be really fun. So step one, the races are going to show up and most of them will know their race number. It could be 238, 10,014, whatever their number are, they're going to know. Now every now and then a few people get really excited and they forget their number. So we're going to have boards already ready to go with their name and race number and heat time. So the heat time is what time they'll be racing at. So don't worry about that. Then they're going to come and see you. Now the fun part is we're going to give you a Sharpie. And if they haven't already done so, you're going to be writing their race number on their foreheads in big, or at least somewhere really obvious. Now this is to identify the racers and also for the photographers to be able to identify the racers when they go and pick their photos after the race. So step one is going to be Sharpie number. Step two, liability waivers. Now this is really important. Those of you who are going to be manning the liability waiver, everyone is going to have to sign one of these. If they don't fill it out, you cannot race. Again, if they don't fill it out properly, they cannot race. No exceptions. So they're going to have to fill out their name here, first and last name, read everything, make sure they've done that. And then there's a secondary page where they acknowledge everything, they write their name, signature, date, and their emergency contact information in case something happens. Generally, nothing does happen, but you just never know. If the racer is a minor, okay, so that's under 16, they will have to have a legal guardian fill this out. So if you're doubting the age of the racer, do ask for ID. So that is the liability waiver. Next step, the racers are now going to have to go get their timing chip. So the timing chip looks something like this. So here's an example. Racer 2814 will be matched with his chip 2814 or her chip. So this chip is to be attached with two zip ties. Now zip ties look like this, so they're these little plastic things. So they're going to put them through the holes and, well, I have flip-flops right now, but they're going to attach them to their shoe. Only to their shoe. The chip cannot be placed anywhere else on the body because the timing mats at the start and finish line will not be able to read the chip. So on the shoe only. So those of you working at the chips, you'll make sure to repeat that. Chip on shoe, nowhere else. Got it? Sure. So next thing, once the racers start the race, they're going to go along their journey. Now we have the course marshals, also known as the obstacle captains. Now you guys have a big responsibility and make sure your obstacle is memorable. So feel free to cheer them on or be like boot camp instructors and really make them work hard for it. Now a lot of people, either through fear or lack of skill, they're going to try an obstacle and they may not be able to do it. Encourage them a little bit. If they're really struggling, they can opt out. However, the penalty is 30 burpees. 30 burpees. And a burpee looks like something like this. So those of you who aren't sure what a burpee is, you jump up like this, you go down, and you do a push-up, and you go up again, and you do this 30 times. Let me tell you, you should probably do the obstacle because it buys you time and is exhausting. So, obstacle captains, memorable smiles, cheers, and make sure to give the penalties. Finish line crew. This is going to be really fun. Now the racers, when they come to the finish line, they're going to be tired, completely excited. So you're going to have to stop them, congratulate them, give them their medals, and then the next step is they're going to go and get their chips removed. So the chips, remember, were on their shoes. It's going to be a section where they can just cut off these little zip ties. They don't cut the chip. These are expensive. They only cut off these, and then they just throw it in a bucket. So that's the chip crew. You'll be making sure to tell them what to do. Again, because they're so excited, they might not be paying attention, so you may have to repeat sometimes. And finally, once they've submitted their chip, they can get their race shirt. Now, if they haven't submitted their chip, they can't get their shirt, so remind them. One more role, the gladiators. So at the finish line, the gladiators are the last obstacles. Now these are big buff guys and gals that have these giant pugo sticks, almost like giant Q-tips. They're going to be trying to slow down the racers at the finish line. Now generally I would say just be, friendly and get in the way a little bit. However, if you see a few people like rugby players, football players really start going at you, it's self-defense, so have fun with them, but don't beat them up too much, okay? And finally, another thing we're introducing this year is a spectator fee. So we've added a lot more infrastructure and activities that are free for the spectators. So because of that, we've had to charge a spectator fee. Also, because we have a race for kids, for security reasons, we do have to manage the people that are on site. And in terms of numbers too, a lot of our venues, there's a certain amount of size of people that we can have on site, so we have to manage that. So that's why we have a fee. However, just welcome everybody. Most people know, they'll be very friendly. Those of you that are managing the spectator fee area, they're gonna pay. You're gonna hand a wristband that's a specific color for them. They also get a $5 voucher towards merchandise that they can use, either exchange or put it towards a higher value item. So those are some of the perks. Please do read your pre-race email. There'll be additional information and also what time to show up. And so read that, be in close contact with your volunteer coordinator, and we'll see you at the race.